Welcome to Healthy Lifestyle. I am Lorianne Casdia. Our goal here at Healthy Lifestyle is to inspire, educate, and empower you to fulfill a healthy, emotional, spiritual, and physical life so you can feel empowered to live the life you have always wanted and dreamed. Well, congratulations. We made it out of 2020 and we're now in 2021. Woohoo! Cannot wait to see and so excited to see what journey we take all together in 2021. And what better way to start than to start with two people who are dynamic, unbelievable. They are magic no matter what they do, no matter what they touch, and they want to spread magic everywhere. Matter of fact, the name of their company is Magic Everywhere. So Michael John Sullivan is the CEO of Magic Everywhere. That's a company based down in Florida. And their mission is to entertain children from 2 to 92 with dynamic characters and adventurous stories through books, animation, illustrations, podcasts, and merchandise. It's so exciting. Sullivan also has written several award-winning bestsellers and novels, and he has taken up the cause of homeless after suffering the same fate. He has articles that have been featured on CNN, the Washington Post, the Huffington Post, and the Patch. And he's actually originally from the Long Island area, which we're very proud of, and we connected up, which was very exciting. And then his co-collaborator and writing partner, Shelley Larkin, is joining us as well. And they collaborate together in Target animated series like Nick Nitley and the Sock Kids and Dr. Never Me and Dino Mike. It's so very exciting. And I wanted to bring them on to share their vision. And it's just so magical talking to them. So why don't we all welcome Shelley and Michael to the show. Welcome, guys.
Hi, Lorianne.
Hi, Lorianne. Thank you for having us.
Oh, pleasure. Thank you for being here, Michael and Shelley. So you guys are like the dynamic duo. I love these characters. And by the way, if you want to take a look at them while we're having a conversation to our listeners, it's magiceverywhereinc.com. These are some of your children's books, and the stories are so delightful. So let me start with you, Michael. You have quite a story behind you, and you started writing. And what got you into starting Magic Everywhere?
Well, I was sitting down one time with my daughters. It was actually on Long Island in Northport, and we were having a nice little summer barbecue with my aunt and uncle. And my daughter started making fun of my socks because I always had mismatched socks. I could never find the right pair, so I always wondered. And they started making me think, where did those socks go? And then we came up with the first idea of Magic Everywhere, which was the Sock Kids. It's the younger version of the Sock Kids before Nick Nitley came into the picture. And these socks time travel through the spin cycle of the washer, and they land on famous people's feet, and we were teaching lessons of history with these particular stories. And the first book was the Sock Kids meet Abraham Lincoln, and then the Sock Kids help Ben Franklin. So that's how that particular storyline happened. And then Shelley Larkin, who worked many years for a company or an organization called Destination Imagination, contacted me and said, the Sock Kids would be great to come to Destination Imagination. So she set us up this booth. She actually partnered an anti-bullying book featuring the Sock Kids with Destination Imagination. And then because of our collaborative spirit, we continue to create different series, character-driven, of course. And these characters are about kindness and love and making sure that the person that needs the most help, these characters are there for them. So it kind of evolved. It evolved first with the idea behind the socks, and then Shelley came into the picture, and then it took off to a different level.
I love this, and I've always had this question of where that other sock went in the washer machine or the dryer. So
now you have the answer.
Now I have the answer. Finally, it's taken me a long time, but we finally have the answer to it. That's so exciting. I love it. The animation is absolutely beautiful, and I understand, Shelley, that you have had other business ventures, and some of the things that you contribute to Magic Everywhere is character development, illustration, collaboration. You do the website design, right? Marketing and the promotional stuff. And you even wrap and have you oversee the wrapping and the packaging of each package. That in and of itself is most beautiful. So what makes you get so excited? What was it about Michael that made you jump onto this bandwagon?
Oh, gosh. Well, again, the fact that the messages that he was sending through the Sock Kids and what they were trying to accomplish with the messages of love and kindness and some of the other types of social issues that children deal with, and my experience that I had with the children involved through Destination Imagination, I just felt like it would be such a good match. Growing up right now in today's times, it's tough for kids, and they're faced with a lot of challenges, and sometimes they're not always understood, and sometimes they need a little extra encouragement and push, to do things, especially when they just look at things maybe a little differently. And I love the fact that they do, and I wanted them to feel safe with their thoughts and encouraged to do the things that they wanted to do and not ever be made to feel that they were different and they weren't accepted. And so I just love the idea of the Socks and their personalities, and that they could reach out to the children and the children could identify with those Socks. And so it worked out perfectly, to have that combination.
Yeah, you point out a couple of really good things. I love that, children are just so free and they have this great way of looking at things, and to stifle that is not a good thing. I mean, law of attraction is all about being who you are, who you genuinely are. We are supposed to be different from one another and embrace those differences and learn from those differences. If we did that, just imagine what the world would be if we did that from a young age, of the age group that you're really targeting with these books, right?
Exactly, yes. And it's important to teach those lessons early on so that they have time to digest them and feel, like I said, it's accepted in their world. And if you wait too long to teach those lessons, sometimes it's too late. So it has to start, I think, right away.
I agree. So Michael, what do the characters do for children and adults?
I think the idea behind the whole children and adults thing probably came from being a stay-at-home dad, and I was responsible for my daughters being at home, taking them to different events, concerts, soccer games, soccer practices, things like that. And so one of my favorite things was to take them to Pixar movies, and Pixar was character-driven, not just for children, but for adults. So I sort of had that framework in mind that these particular characters not only would be attractive to children, but to adults, because children can teach us lessons as well. And as Shelley said, it's important to get to the children early on as far as the emotional situations. We just didn't deal with just kindness and love. We also dealt with, Shelley said, social interaction. The bullying issue became very important to us because the first year we were at Destination Imagination, we asked the parents, what were the biggest issues their kids were facing? And they said the kids were bullied because they were different.
And isn't it funny, though? We always focus on the children being bullied, but children of all ages are being bullied constantly. Through work, through different things that they do. We deal with bullying our whole entire life. So again, by broaching the subject when they're children, it really helps the adults. And that's why I see the Disney Pixar model when I read your books, is that there's an element for the adults as well as an element for the children. And I love that. I think that's totally brilliant. It's not easy to do.
It is. And Shelley did a fabulous job with the anti-bullying book, because she put together an educational portion of the book after the fun story that we did. And Shelley, of course, is a children's advocate and has done a lot of work with children over the last 30 years in Destination Imagination. And she put together these list of questions that adults and children could discuss, teachers and children could discuss. So the book, the Sock Kids Say No to Bullying, is one of my proud achievements as far as with Shelley, is that this particular book provided a lot of help, and many of the kids came back to us after it and thanked us for at least showing some light onto the particular situations that they were going through. But Shelley can certainly speak more about that.
Yeah, Shelley. Now you were doing this. Are you currently still the director in the Greater Sacramento area for Destination Imagination?
No, not at this time, because I did relocate. I now live in Southern California, down in the San Diego area, and I am doing still some work with the organization as a co-director in the area where I live. I love the program. I thought I was ready to, let's say, move on from it, but because it is so wonderful in teaching another set of life lessons, and I saw how it did add value to children, I didn't really want to let go yet. I wanted to be able to still offer time for the organization.
And that's it's a worldwide organization, and they're learning programs for kids K to 12, right?
That's correct. Creative problem solving program, as you said, K through 12, national, international. It's grown over time, of course. This year was a little challenging because of our situation with the COVID illnesses and all, but keeping kids in just groups, not able to congregate. And so we did miss the global finals event, and we weren't able to be at that, or even the state tournaments that are created. But the kids are still involved with the program. They created a new model for the situation, so they're able to do things virtually, and which I was really glad to see, because I didn't want it to go away. And so I'm hoping, just be a temporary,
well, and the greatest thing, and the greatest thing that I see, a very, very positive thing that I saw throughout 2020 was the shift that people were making, how adaptable we are. I just applaud us for how adaptable we are, and that we can take situations, whether they're fantastic or they're not so fantastic, we can take them and move and be flexible and navigate it and continue moving forward. And I saw that there was continuation of forward motion. And I see that with Magic Everywhere too. So I know that because you, all three of us, we met over a book. We actually met over a lizard. And the lizard name, Larry the Lizard, who loves a blizzard, he is where we got connected, right? And
exactly, yeah,
that's an adorable book. I just can't even. I can't wait to see you guys come out with your videos where you're actually having those reading session with the children virtually. I think those things are really great to have for parents and grandparents. It's a book that you really want to read along with the Sox Kids. So what was the messaging behind Larry who loves a blizzard? Larry the Lizard. I love Larry. I'm in love with the plushie. That's why I'm just like, I feel very connected with the lizard. So, what was
Larry? He's keeping a lot of people happy there.
Without a doubt. And then, what I mentioned earlier is, Shelley, the way you've instructed everybody to package up the books and the plushies when they're ordered it's just so beautiful that you don't want to unwrap it. It's amazing. But with that said, because there's a lot of love that goes into all of this, and you can just see it's oodles of love in your process. I've been enjoying learning about your whole process together, how you create together, how you really, all the colors matter that you choose, the illustrations you really pay a lot of attention to, and all that matters, and it just carries forward from book to book to book. So, but where did the thought come for this? Because I know this was a true collaboration between you and Michael. Where did the thought process come for this, and what's the storyline without giving it away?
Sure. When I moved down to Florida from Long Island, and a lot of times that, there are really, you don't see lizards popping in front of you on Long Island, especially during the winter.
No.
And when I would come out of my condo, I would see the lizards pop in front of me and everything. And the first thing I'm thinking about is, where do they go? What do they do? Are they thinking, do they miss snow? Because there's no snow here in Florida.
They hang out with the Sox.
I guess. I lost with the Sox somewhere. Yeah, so I had it sitting in my computer for a couple of years, and then when the COVID hit, I said, well, we have to do something. And I said to Shelley that we just can't, let this year go by because we're in our homes and we can't go anywhere. I said, I'm going to look at this. I'll send it to you and everything. So we did a rhyming story. I did a little rhyming story. I gave it to Shelley. When Shelley gave it back to me, I looked at it. I said, my goodness, this is much better than the story that I wrote. So I said, Shelley, you're the lead writer. You run with it and everything. And Shelley can tell you more about it because she found an illustrator for us in a very crazy place and everything. So I'll let Shelley handle the rest of the story, but it's pretty fabulous.
Sounds good, Michael. Shelley, tell us the process. Tell us how you got where we are now.
Well, absolutely. And thank you, Michael. That was nice. A nice compliment, of course. But I'd like to say, right off the bat, that it is a team effort. And the idea was there because of your thought. And so we just built on it. I've never done a rhyming story before. I thought it would be kind of a fun thing to do. And the storyline itself was fun to work with in that dimension and all. But, excuse me, we did need to find an illustrator. We were in the process of kind of switching over, doing some things differently. And so we did seek out different people that were involved in children's book illustrations and asked them to provide samples of some of their work. And we talked with them about what we wanted to do. And so then just based on what we got back and what we saw, we found somebody that we thought would be a perfect fit. And she is a wonderful young lady and who resides actually in Cuba. And she's a graphic artist and a beautiful illustrator. And this was a fun project for her because it was something a little different for her as well. And it was something she'd always wanted to do. So she really jumped in, put her heart and soul into it, and was able to really capture our vision of what we saw Larry doing throughout his flight to snowboard in the snow on Christmas Day, So
tell us the story real quick. Tell us the story about Larry the Lizard.
Well, he's from down under,
right,
in Australia, and he dreams of snow on Christmas Day, and he's dying to take to the slopes while riding his snowboard. He has a fascination with snowboarders, and it's something that he had learned about and he wanted to do, and his dream finally does come true, and he ends up having just the time of his life, and being able to tunnel through the town and come out on the other side, and the town people are waiting for him, and they're happy to see him, and then he takes to the slopes, and he's doing his ride, and everybody is so excited to see it, and they're excited to be able to play with the snow and, in the snow, and it brought the town folks together. So, the message about people thought he was, silly and thinking this, and they never thought it would happen, and they thought he was, silly and wanting to keep his dream alive. It's like, come on, Larry, what are you talking about? And then there it is. It happened. So it was about not giving up on your dreams and hopes.
Love it.
And continuing just to be who you are.
Love it.
People think you're different or not. And accomplishing, what you hope to do.
I love it. That's the whole theme of my mentoring, just that right there. But I love the fact that you guys create characters and storylines that inspire and give hope, and you always seem to have an underlying message of love and kindness. And I think that is the mission statement for Magic Everywhere is love and kindness. And I think it's very inspiring, and the two of you together just ooze that. It's just amazing how you're able to capture that in these beautiful characters that everybody can find on Magic Everywhere Inc., correct?
Right.
Exactly, yeah. And we want to create emotional inspiration. And that's the whole idea behind Larry the Lizard. And it was really a three-pronged process. I had the idea. It was a generic idea. There was words that I had. Shelley improved the words and the storyline, and Yuneisi Puentes Cruz, our illustrator from Cuba, brought it to life with the visual, the illustrations. And so three people came together and combined and gave this beautiful message of inspiration and hope that no matter what your dream is, no matter how silly, as Shelley said it is, it's your dream, and it's worthy. Everybody's dream is worthy.
Absolutely.
no matter how many people say it's silly.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It's none of your business, matter of fact, of what anybody else thinks. If that's your dream and that's what you want to do and it's a passion and it just hits you right at the heart to the deepest point of yourself and gives you great joy, do it. Do it, do it, do it. Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It's usually they're coming from their place of fear and scarcity as opposed to a place of love and creativity. Anybody who's really showing you support will love whatever the crazy ideas you come up with. I've had many, and luckily and fortunately, I've been surrounded by people who just support it and say, go, let's do it. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful when you surround yourself like that. And these books send that message, which I think is real important, and give a voice to creatures who have none. But what I'd like to do is just take a few moments. You are listening to Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. We are coming back to speak more about Larry the Lizard, my new friend, and of course Michael and Shelley, the creators of this and many other characters that you will fall in love with. So take a moment, run over to magiceverywhereinc.com, and we will be right back. Welcome back to Healthy Lifestyle. I am Lorianne. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas you'd like to hear more about, please email us at healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com. And of course, follow us on social media. We are live on social media at Healthy Lifestyle with LA. LA is for Lorianne. Somebody asked me that recently, sent me a comment, and that is what it stands for, Lorianne. Anyway, so we have been speaking with and enjoying the conversations with Michael and Shelley of Magic Everywhere, speaking about The Lizard Who Loves a Blizzard, a great new book that they wrote during 2020, and really exemplifies the importance of following your dreams and love and magic and just really sticking to what inspires you and gives you hope, and love and kindness obviously being the underlying thing. So, Michael, I know that in your intro, I had mentioned that you have you have taken up the cause of homelessness because you suffered that and have come out of that fate and have really taken quite the journey. Would you want to share a little bit about your writing while you were homeless and riding the trains at night?
Sure, and I was very fortunate in some ways that I was young. I was 23 years old. It was about a year after my mom had passed away, and I didn't have a very good relationship at home with my father, and he proceeded to basically told me to leave. And so I ended up on the trains at night. I was riding the E trains, or the ERF train from Union Turnpike in Queens to the World Trade Center. I'd ride it overnight, and while I was doing that, I'd had a notebook and a pen. I've always kept a notebook and a pen anywhere I've gone, because that's the way I write. I write my notes in a notebook first. And I started to write my thoughts about my family life and everything. And it became a part of the book, Necessary Heartbreak, which was published by Simon & Schuster in 2010. And it was named by the Library Journal as one of the best books in 2010.
Wow.
And yeah, so
that's huge. Don't skim over that. That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
It was very therapeutic. It was a very therapeutic experience for me. I sat on it for a couple of decades, and then I went back to it as my daughters got older, and I had more time, and then I started working on it. And the actual plot, besides the real part about being homeless and everything, going through that particular part of my life was, it came to a dream. It was an August day, again in Northport. I have all these things that happened in Northport, Long Island, but I woke from a dream, and I was at Palm Sunday, and I saw this man on a donkey, and I was yelling at him, "How's my mom doing? Is my mom okay?" Because my mom had suffered a horrible fate. She died at 47 from breast cancer, and she suffered greatly. And all I ever wondered was she okay? Was she out of pain and everything? And then I woke up, and I thought, I got the story. I had a single father and a teenage daughter. They time travel back to first century Jerusalem. And the main character falls in love with a Jewish widow. And so there's a whole storyline that goes there. And then He's got to battle the Romans and everything like that. So it's a 5-book series right now. The next book is in the hands of the publisher as well, and then I'm starting work on the next one.
Oh, my.
So that particular dream has helped me create 6 particular novels. And
I want to emphasize that because that's how it happens. It usually comes from a major upheaval or trauma, and then you see a change in your life, and there's a reason for that. And believe it or not, on the other end is, if you choose to accept it, there is the answer to why you had to go through what you went through. But it always leads you to something greater. From our largest tragedies become our greatest growth potential. So, and that's what happened with you. 5-book series, and your 6th one is on the way, right?
Exactly, yeah. And as you mentioned, a traumatic event does change you. It certainly changed me. It gave me a level of compassion that I still carry with me today. And I don't think if I hadn't seen all those people on the trains, okay, there were many people on those trains. There were families. This was in the 1980s, so it wasn't a great time to be on the trains in New York City. And you saw at night, okay, the overnight, the trains weren't empty. They were full. They were full of people, full of people of all different colors, races, families, people like me. So it taught me a lesson there where we have this preconceived notion that homeless people are a certain group of people. It's not true. There are many stories out there for people who've been homeless. Some fall through the cracks. Some just have hard luck. There are many reasons for it, and it changed me for sure. It certainly did.
But you took that challenge and you spiraled it into what you do today, and you still believe in magic. And that to me is just pure joy and love. I mean, you really are emulating that of Disney and Pixar and those double layered type stories, excuse me, that really make a difference and generate the right thing, send out that right messaging. Shelley, I know that you like to really tell a story and touch on topics that are meaningful, right? And add value to readers' lives. I think you both do that. But what inspires you? What personally inspires you?
Well, I know that I would say when I was involved with the program that we mentioned earlier, and I saw the kids that were had come together in a team and wanted to work through the challenges that they were going to solve. And I saw the creativity that came out of their collaboration and just that wide-eyed innocence. I think there's this part of me that's never going to grow up, the Peter Pan syndrome.
Excellent.
Peter Bell syndrome.
I have that too. I always tell people I'm 5.
Yeah, exactly. And so, you have to be able to kind of put yourself on that level and try to see through them, because it helps, to become more relatable and credible, I think, when you want to write a story. But it's just something similar to what Mike is saying and from his experiences and how he's able to write about it and share what he did go through and how he overcame that obstacle and challenge. And I experienced some things growing up, nothing like what Mike has experienced, but just where kids, aren't nice to each other and people can be mean. And you mentioned something about it. Bullying takes on different shapes, and it can happen throughout your life. And
absolutely.
So when you've experienced it, yes. And when you've experienced it and firsthand what it's like, and it's not a good feeling, you want to do what you can to help somebody else so that they don't have to.
Yes, and maybe that's the very reason why you experience the bullying, because it's an opportunity for you to maybe stop that or help someone else not have to experience it. For us for us to pay that experience forward to maybe have them prevent, putting their hand on the hot stove because they're going to burn it, and you let them know that, or you let them know how to handle it, or provide, even better yet, tools to enable them to handle it no matter what situation they're in. That's, I think, why, goodness always comes out of tragedy, because you have an option. Now, some people get stuck, and it's a choice. Being stuck is a choice. Or some people take those adversities and make them into dynamos. And I love the fact that the both of you found each other through this other event and are magically coming together and producing these books that are just so incredibly amazing, lovely. And like I said before, you have to see the colors, the illustrations are just beautiful. They're just unbelievably colorful, and children really respond to them. I know grandparents are and parents are, so children of all ages respond to it, but the story touches everybody in a different way, and I love that you're inspired by that. Michael, what inspires you? And by the way, I failed to thank you for so openly sharing your story. I appreciate that.
Well, I'm glad to share it because for many years, enduring that particular thought process and I actually buried the story for 2 decades, and because it was humiliating in some ways, but it was also enlightening, and it took a maturity for me to finally realize that this particular experience, while it was degrading in many ways, it was also a lesson for me, and that was to open up my mind and my heart that many people suffer out there, and they need people. So those are actually the people that have inspired me. I've met so many people. When I was a board member, on the Long Island Coalition of the Homeless. I enjoyed that as well, working with Greta Gordon there at over in Amityville, and I held several fundraisers and everything. I did as much as I could, but I realized no matter what I did, it was never going to be enough because there were so many people suffering. So the people out there who struggle, the single moms who take care of their kids, all these different particular people are the people that really inspire me. They're everyday people.
Yeah. Everyday
people go to work, take care of their kids, make sure their kids get a good education, make sure their kids have a warm meal on the table.
Yeah.
Well,
they're the heroes. They're the true heroes, are the people who keep moving forward.
They are.
And there's a reason why I assimilate with phoenixes and butterflies is because you come out of the ashes and you start again. You do what you need to do so that you can move forward and still find love and joy and possibilities in the world. And those are the storylines that I'm seeing in this. And it really gives a lot of hope. I was told by somebody who at the time was very close to me that, and I'll never forget, he said this to me. He goes, life doesn't end in stories don't end in happy endings. And I was like, no, I don't agree with you, because it can if you're doing the right thing and you're going in the right direction and people are being truthful and straight up. So stories can end, and I will forever hold to that. And that's why I am 5 and I hold on to that young inner child. And I love it. And I don't want her to go away. So a little bit of that innocence is really important to hold on to, even though I've been through some things in my lifetime that some people would be horrified at. But yet, here I am, still positive and joyous and loving life, and taking those contrasting moments and looking at it as opportunity to learn from, and taking those opportunities to be a better me, a better version of me. I was able to take those things and become a better version of me to serve others better. And I think that's an important element that you bring to all of your characters. Would you agree?
Well, can I?
Yes.
I think. Yes. Oh, sorry. Well, no, I was thinking about what you were saying just now, what Mike was saying too, that we're lucky in what we're doing because really each project is going to lend itself to telling that story, and you get to touch on the topics that are meaningful and can help to add value, to a reader's life. And when you get to create the characters, and this is something I have said before, breathing life into their personalities, watching them develop, and evolve, is really one of my favorite areas to work on. But that's how we are as human beings too. We're constantly evolving and we're constantly learning.
We should be. And if you're in a warm and fuzzy couch and you're not getting up and moving, so to speak. It's an example, not a reality. But if you're not moving and you're not in a little bit uncomfortable, then you're not learning and you're not growing. And you need to constantly push yourself and find accountability partners to allow you to do that.
Mm-hmm. This is true. So, and I just feel like when you can reach one person, even just one individual with your message, that helps to make a difference for them, then I think that helps to also validate that you've made the right decision in what you're doing and how you want to get your message across.
Absolutely. And this is what Magic Everywhere does. And you do get those messages across. And I love how you've taken your respective lives and the tools that you've earned throughout your lifetime, and you're really focusing it in on stories to help our children, help children of all ages, actually, 2 to 92, I believe you say. So it's a really exciting, igniting possibility that you have, and you're building your own little empire, because you don't just do books too. You also have a podcast out there, right, Michael?
Yes, it's called Magical Books for Kids, and what we do is we interview authors or people that are in children's entertainment who have a valuable message they want to share, whether it's education, whether it's what you do, Lori, and with your podcast and radio show as well, is to express emotional and physical support and things like that. So there are many people out there that are actually doing this, and so I felt that there was a need to highlight.
Yeah. We need to elevate each other, right? That's the whole point. That's the point of this show, is to help elevate people who are bringing greatness and good things into the universe. And some people don't know about it. So the more people if we can spread the message, that's what we want to do. And spreading the message about Magic Everywhere is something that is just, near and dear to my heart, because these characters have really kind of taken over. So what's next for Magic Everywhere?
I think what we're trying to do is we're building our brand, and we want to make sure that we build our podcast, build our website to the point where we can continue to create storylines and characters that reach more and more people out there, whether they're adults or whether they're children. So we're sort of like the mini version of Disney/Pixar. So this little company in Florida/California, where Shelley is, and we continue to create these storylines, and perhaps there'll be another Larry story.
Oh, I hope so. He's spunky. I like him a lot.
He is. He's a little persistent. He says, "I need another story, perhaps a summer story instead of a winter story."
Yeah, I mean, he's
think about those things.
Larry has had the taste of excitement and following his dream and finding that bliss in the blizzard, and yes, that was done with purpose. But he found his bliss, so he needs to continue to just like find those dreams, follow those dreams.
Right.
Too, it's been really exciting. I was just thinking about this with the holidays just passing, and where Larry was a gift to people all over the United States. People had given him to grandchildren and nieces and nephews and whatnot, and we've been getting some feedback about the excitement that the kids have when they open the book or they get to hold the little plushie toy, and that they just love them, and that they opened other presents, but they kept going back to Larry. They kept wanting to see what was going on in the book, and they kept walking around holding Larry.
Oh, yeah, because you sell a plushie of Larry the Lizard along with like a combo, the book and the plushie. And you sell it on your website, right? MagicEverywhereInc.com. And they can get the combo, right? The book and the plushie. Because, I mean, the plushie is adorable. It's absolutely adorable. So I can only imagine. And I love the fact that they're giving you feedback. I know that many grandparents and moms and dads bought it. And the more kids that hear about it, they're just loving it, right?
They are. And like I said, it's just so much fun to see, the reaction to the story, reaction to the toy, and the fact that people want to let us know and they're sharing those reactions with us. It really warms our heart.
I love that. And Larry needs to have like a bathing suit on and do something in the summer. I'm just saying.
Oh, right.
Michael, I'm just putting it out there.
Yes.
I know he's got to surf, right, Shelley? Yeah.
He can surf, right? And he in the story when it starts out, he is wearing his little swim shorts with palm trees on them. That's already thinking about that. Hopeful snow that's going to fall. But yes, and I can see him on a surfboard for sure. That would be great.
Without a doubt. And Winter Olympics are coming, so he might be inspired by that too.
There you go, right?
Can you see Larry the Lizard? What do they call that? Not looming. It's the ice one that they come down the hill. It's not skiing, but luge. The luge.
Luge.
Larry the Lizard luges. Can you imagine? Nice alliteration. What do you think? Well, I'm so glad that you were able to share this time with us. I mean, I'm so inspired by both of you. I love the passion that you have behind what you do. I love the concept behind Magic Everywhere and the direction it's going. Like you had mentioned, it's very Disney-esque and Pixar, but in the modern way. And I'm just so very proud of you. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you so much, Lorianne. It's our pleasure.
Oh, gosh, it's just amazing. I hope to have you guys back on soon, and I hope everyone who's listening have enjoyed this time with us today. I really want to encourage you, seeing that it's the first back show since the new year rang in, to really set out your intentions for the year. And maybe one of those intentions is to introduce Larry the Lizard to your grandchildren or children, or read the story yourself and get positive encouragement, love, and inspiration, good messaging for the year of 2021. So set out those intentions. We'll be talking more about intentions this entire year on Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. But thank you. As always, thank you for joining us today on Healthy Lifestyle. My life is so lifted by sharing this time with you. And I know your time is limited, and your time spending it with us is a gift to us, and we really appreciate that. So thank you again for sharing this time and joining us on Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I would like you to play a higher role in 2021, serve a higher purpose, show up for you, and show up big.